Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM. My name is Bearice Adu. The news is also live on Kesmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Ghana Health Service heightens its surveillance at Ghana's entry points as Nigeria records major cholera outbreak.
This year, we've suspected about 50 cases and tests have been negative for all of them. The surveillance system is active. We have what we call...
Also on the program, National Labour Commission makes yet another attempt to get striking tutors of colleges of education to end their boycott with a fresh round of talks this afternoon. We'll bring you details. Much later, election materials for the disputed Wale Wale MPP parliamentary primary currently on transit to Tamale on court orders after angry youth from the area prevented the police from conveying the items Wednesday night. We are live in the area with the latest. And later, Minister for Trade and Industry, Katie Hammond, takes a swipe at the leadership of the Chamber of Cement Manufacturers, Ghana, over a petition to Parliament to reject a proposed ally to regulate the pricing of cement in the country. Thank you very much for joining us. We start from the Labour front, and the National Labour Commission, NLC, is this afternoon meeting striking leadership of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAG. You'll recall that on June 20, the National Labour Commission announced that it will proceed to court to compel government to implement its ruling on the conditions of service of CTAG. Now, members of CTAG started a strike on June 14 over what members call the failure of the government to implement the National Labour Commission's arbitral award orders and negotiated service conditions. CTAG is insisting that its members will not back out until the government implements the renegotiated conditions of service. Daniel Opoko is our Labour Affairs correspondent. He's right here in the studio with us. Daniel, just tell us what you've picked so far on this very issue.
Right, so good afternoon to you, Beatrice. The National Labour Commission is meeting the leadership of CTAG this afternoon, and my sources indicate to me, as I spoke with the president this morning, they are reluctant to call off, even though there has been a directive from the owners for them to do so. Basically, the argument is that the Labour Commission should ensure that whatever they have agreed upon with government should be implemented before they'll go ahead to call off. Now, basically, that's what they are saying, even though they are meeting the NLC this afternoon. And what we can also confirm that when they meet the NLC this afternoon, obviously the NLC is going to give another directive for them to call off, because the position of the law does not allow it to be striking and also negotiating at the same time. So one must call off, then negotiations can continue.
Do I take it to mean that CTAG could face some serious legal issues because already not calling off your strike, even in the face of an order to do so, could bring in, it's against really the labor laws they've signed to? Exactly
so, Beatrice. Now, when you don't call off, there has, in 2003, the NLC gave a similar ruling and CTAG defied that order. So their salaries were withheld. That was the reason. It is one of the reasons they have asked the NLC to direct government to do the payment of those who lost their salaries last year. Again, if they don't call off this time around, then obviously the director of the NLC will be again for their salaries to be withheld by government, and subsequently they have to meet and have another negotiation. But I don't think CTAG is in a position to allow its salaries to be suspended this time around. So obviously, by close of
they've actually still been fighting over the previous
ones, because there are some arrears. For instance, the president himself has not received a guest salary. That's last year, and he has been fighting over that one. So if they allow this one to persist by close of day today, we are likely to see another dimension or directive of the NLC.
I know you've got deep throat sources within the labour organizations. What should we anticipate in this meeting?
Right, so we anticipate that CTAG will call off today. after meeting the NLC, SITA should be able to call out their strike today for negotiations to continue. Already the NLC intended to go to court to compel government also to implement its directives. So we are likely to see some level of implementation coming from the Office of the Government Secretariat, then SITA calling off its strike for smooth academic work to begin.
Labour Affairs correspondent Daniel Opoku, thank you very much for bringing us the details. Now, ballot boxes and other election materials used for the January primary of the new Patriotic Party in the Wale constituency have been moved to Tamale following a High Court order. There was a confrontation between police and supporters of Dr. Kabiru Tia Mahama last night when police went to pick the election materials. On Monday, June 24, a Tamale High Court in the ongoing election dispute ordered the Electoral Commission to produce the ballot boxes and the register used for the January parliamentary elections in the constituency. The Electoral Commission responded to the order by handing over the materials to the police for onward delivery to the court. When armed police arrived at 8 p.m. to carry the materials to Tamale, they were blocked by angry supporters of the party. Take a listen.
We are not living here unless they are taking the papers tomorrow. We can't live here because they don't take papers at night. Police people don't work at night. So we can't allow them to take the papers, if not daytime. That's why we are here. Whether yes or yes, we are not living here.
We are not going to allow anybody to go along with the ballot box. We got the information from through phone calls that MC and regional minister are talking. That's why the crowd is here like that. And we are here to see to it that no one is going with the ballot box, if not daytime.
We don't need any we need justice. We have won the election, so we need justice. We don't need anything. Nothing is going to take tonight. They brought it there daytime, and it is going to be taken here daytime. God daylight. Nobody is going to take it tonight. Okay. We are ready for everything.
You heard some angry supporters of Wale, and shortly we'll be connecting to our correspondent in the Upper East region, Castro Senyala, who will be bringing us the latest from there. And you're still here on the Midday News on 3FM. Now, Ghana has recorded 50 suspected cases of cholera this year. Although all cases have tested negative, the Deputy Director of Public Health in charge of disease surveillance at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Dennis Laye, is entreating the general public to take responsibility for their individual cleanliness to avoid an infection. The call follows the surge in cholera cases in neighboring Nigeria. The last time Ghana recorded a cholera outbreak was in 2019. However, as of June this year, more than 800 suspected cases of cholera with 16 deaths have been reported in 30 states out of the 36 states in Nigeria. Let's listen to Dr. Dennis Laye giving us details about what people need to do.
Our public health priority diseases, cholera is one of them. The last time we had a confirmed case of cholera in Ghana was 2019. Incidentally, the year before, 2018, we had 2 cases that were among passengers who traveled across the border. So it was actually at Aflao. They had the symptoms, they were tested, and it was contained. So we can still diagnose cholera, but it would.
And I heard Dennis Laye there, who is Deputy Director of Health at the Ghana Health Service. Now, 9 cases of murder and rape expected to be heard at the Kumasi High Court today have had to be cancelled due to the absence of jurors in court. Ibrahim Abubakar joins us live on the line. Ibrahim, just tell us more about the effect of the strike of the jurors in Kumasi.
Well, Beatrice, so you come to the Kumasi High Court currently and you find that people are stranded. In fact, like you rightly mentioned, 9 cases, which include 7 murder cases and 2 rape cases, which were to be held today, have had to be adjourned. And this means that if the jurors continue to remain at home, more high-profile cases will delay unduly. And this is something that they do not wish it happens. they are just demanding that their 10 months allowance be paid to them. We all know that by the end of July, that's July 31, the legal calendar is ending. So if they are not made to come early and continue with some of the trials, it means more cases, like I rightly said, will have to suffer some form of delay. So some come and they are told that the jurors are on strike, then they return. Others also are waiting, hoping that maybe there may be some intervention for them to have a change of mind and later attend to them. So the busy nature of the Kumasi High Court, the section where the jurors mostly handle, you go there and it's virtually empty, and this is how it is affecting the justice delivery. In fact, earlier I engaged with the leader of the jurors in Ashanti region, Albert Aka.
Jurors are expecting their allowances. CJ came here, as you indicated, last year in November. And he promised that our allowances, he will make sure that the allowances may not delay again to pay in time or on time. But unfortunately, that's not how we see it. We'll still communicate with them, but it seems we don't even receive any concrete assurance that the money will be paid to us. We know the money will be paid to us. As government owes you, we are aware. Government will pay that. But it shouldn't have taken a longer period of time from last year, August, till now. The money has not been paid, and it's the same money that we use to come to court. And if allowances are not paid, how can jurors come to court?
You heard Albert Aka. He's the head of the Jurors Association, which is currently on strike. Let's return to Wale Wale. We're telling you about that NPP parliamentary primary dispute there. We have Castro Senyala on the line with us. Castro, we heard some angry NPP supporters who prevented the EC officials from bringing the materials last night. But what more can you tell us?
I can report that calm has returned to Wale Wale, where people are going about their activities. Yes, indeed, yesterday some youth that we gathered belonged to the Dr. Tia Kabiru's camp. Vehemently resisted the movement of the election materials to Tamale because they had said that it wasn't the proper time, considering that the documents there were very delicate. And so, for that matter, they wouldn't agree for the materials to be moved. The second thing is also that the youth posited that they hadn't been informed of the move because among the members of the team that had come, led the police station, were members of the incumbent MP. And so they felt that they should have also been informed so that they are part of the team that would jointly help the police to move the things to Tamale on the order of the court. But since they were not informed, they wouldn't allow that to happen, especially in the night. They argue that needed to be done during the day where they can also be there and monitor events. But as we speak now, we understand that the election materials have been successfully moved. If they haven't gotten to Tamale, it should be in transit to Tamale, hopefully where they would be used for a court sitting in the coming days.
Castro, there's a lot of wind in your call. If you could kindly reposition yourself, but can you tell us how this is affecting party cohesion?
Yes, so Beatrice, we understand that, and most of the party members, especially the staunch and big wigs within the party in the Wale Wale constituency, have been speaking against the actions or the silence of leadership of the party, saying that they are playing with their fortunes, considering that Wale Wale is the hometown of the flag bearer of the party, and so it's expected that if peace should come from anywhere, it should be from Wale Wale first and foremost. They are calling on the party to get involved and quickly resolve this matter because, according to the chairman of the party, Mohammed Muniru Jenda, he feels that more could come. More violent protests and other form of resistance could come, and that could lead into more chaos for the party if nothing is done about it in the coming days.
Thank you very much, Castro Senyala. He's our Upper East correspondent, speaking to us about what's happening in Wale in the northern region. You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM. When we come back, we'll tell you what the Minister for Trade and Industry, Katie Hammond, has been saying.
The luckiest, luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah. The luckiest, luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah.
Doctors,
nurses,
barbers,
drivers,
bouncers,
friends,
teachers,
bankers. You could be the luckiest, you could be the luckiest.
east, west, north, south, Obiama to
You could be the luckiest, you could be the luckiest.
Accra to Haga.
Let's go. The luckiest, luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah. The luckiest, luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah.
Doctors,
Nurses,
barbers,
drivers,
bouncers,
friends,
teachers.
bankers. The luckiest, you could be the luckiest.
Now is an opportune moment for investors to consider the remarkable investment opportunity presented by the Floria Residence, the pinnacle of luxury living in Cantonment, offering a range of options from executive studios to lavish penthouses, including 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom apartments. Amenities and services includes round-the-clock security services, dedicated play areas, a bustling commercial zone, state-of-the-art fitness facilities and gym, a well-appointed conference room, an elegant rooftop sky bar, and a breathtaking rooftop infinity swimming pool. Additionally, residents benefit from the convenience of a secured 3-floor underground car park, while those residing in the ocean view penthouses enjoy unparalleled vistas. We are located opposite the Laboni Palace Mall, Accra. Contact us on 0595 700008.
3FM 92.7, Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Yes, so here on the Midday News on 3FM. Thank you very much for staying. Now, the Minister for Trade and Industry, Katie Hammond, has taken a swipe at the CEO of the Chamber of Cement Manufacturers Ghana, Dr. George Dawson Amwa, over a petition to Parliament to reject a proposed legislative instrument to regulate the pricing of cement in the country. In an interaction with journalists, Katie Hammond said the government remains resolute in its quest to ensure that Ghanaians are not shortchanged in the purchase of cement.
People of those who have established these factories, you are not careful. I mean, that's its market operation. They want maximization of profit. They would want to maximum profit as much as they want. We think that it is not good for the health of the entire country if a select group of people decide that they will make the system for what it's worth. Is that a bad suggestion? And so today I have received a copy of a petition written by the Association of Ghana Cement Manufacturing, whatever. Pretty insulting. Dr. Amwa Dawson. He writes to Parliament, tells the Parliament to order me to take back my document and to consult with him, and that what I'd done was not respectful or something, because I hadn't told him. You know, sometimes you got to be careful when some of these things come about. But he's a PhD, he's a doctor, so reading and comprehension shouldn't be a problem for him. He should go and read the Constitution.
Katie Hammond is the Minister for Trade and Industry, speaking to journalists earlier. A founding member of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, has cast out on the ability of the MPP to break the 8, even with the Bawumia Opoku Pempe pair. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has informed President Akufo-Addo that Dr. Matthew Opoku Pempe is his choice as running mate for the December 2024 elections. This has been met with mixed reactions as the December polls approach. Now, speaking on Sunrise on 3FM, Dr. Tamaklo said the current economic hardships in the country will not favor the MPP, despite the candidates they present.
We have in the camp into various regions. And if we are really going to improve as a political party that we are represented or we have representatives in all the regions, then a presidential candidate should be free to choose whoever he wants to run, be the person a female or a male. We shouldn't say that Ashanti region is a region we shall always have just like that, who will be voting for us day in and day out. Now Ashanti region is changing. The people are changing because the suffering other regions are going through in the country, they are experiencing the same thing. When they talk of breaking the earth, you can see that these are people who have no idea about the dangers of society. We have seen politics in this country for years.
He fears the recent uprising in Kenya over some tax impositions could repeat in Ghana.
Anyone who is 17 years plus will agree with me that what is going in Kenya can happen. You see, we always fool ourselves in this country. We tickle ourselves and then we start laughing. So military coups can happen anywhere, anytime. When the condition of the people is not conducive to them, they find things not going on well. If I'll use a simple language, things not going on well for them. You talk about your pocket. Now, if I have been buying a finger of plantain for 1 peswa, and now it's costing 5 peswas, then I will feel it. Because you follow me. Right. You have been picked as a member of parliament. You have been picked as a minister of a particular ministry. Your first and foremost duty is to make sure you serve the people, not yourself, not your pocket. If you serve your pocket first, you will bring hardships on the people, and the people will one day demand their money that you have stolen. And it will happen.
Founding member of the MPP, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, 4 months after fire ravaged a palm oil production factory in Achim Old Tafo of the Obuaka North constituency, the running mate, Professor of the NDC, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, is assuring affected women of support to help them improve their businesses.
It is a product of the 31st December movement that has employed many and given livelihood to women. After over 5 hours of the inferno, this is the remains of the factory. Over 1.2 million cedis of machinery burned beyond recognition. The kennels were not spared, exacerbating the livelihood of over 100 artisans and their dependents.
Dumso has destroyed all my belongings. We could not save anything. I'm a pensioner. I bought a machine and not less than 2 months it got burnt.
Several appeals to government for support appears to have hit a snag with no responses. After the news was broken to John Mahama, he immediately dispatched his running mate, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, to assess the situation.
We are in a crucial moment now, so I entreat everyone to come together and support our women. They have to be comforted to lessen the pain they've experienced. We also have to be hopeful in God and put our things together, for only that will make us victorious.
Established in the 1990s, the 31st December oil palm factory served not the local market but supplied to Nigeria, Benin, the United States and other parts of the continent. Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman assured the women of a personal interest in the factory to ensure they deliver finished product that would engender the growth in the NDC's 24-hour economy.
Komla Kluche filed that report. Kenyan police are dealing with a growing number of protesters a day after President William Ruto announced he will not sign the controversial finance bill into law. Police fired tear gas to disperse protesters in Nairobi, despite roadblocks and heavy deployment in the capital city. Now, the protesters now say withdrawal of the bill isn't enough. According to media reports, they plan to occupy State House until Ruto resigns, or Ruto, who is only 2 years into his tenure, bows out. We have Melita Olitenges reporting from Kenya.
Echoes of tear gas blasts and fumes have rented the air in the capital city of Kenya, that is Nairobi. And even after President William Ruto refused or declined to assent to the Finance Bill 2024, protesters are still not content, and they are saying that there is more than that. Remember, they took to the streets first threatening to occupy Parliament, and they actually did on Tuesday and Wednesday. There was a bit of a lull, and we had the president issuing a statement saying that despite the fact that members of Parliament have passed the Finance Bill 2024, he shall not be assenting to it, and so that means the bill will go back to the National Assembly with proposals by the president actually to remove the clauses, all the clauses, and that if that is done, then it means it will be back to the drawing board for the National Assembly to draft a new finance bill. Now, for the better part of Thursday, we saw protesters engaging in running battles with police officers in the city, and also because of that rage and a sort of uproar that happened in the prior protests on Tuesday and Thursday last week, we had the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Defense, Aden Duale, actually issuing a gazette notice and saying that the military will be ordered to get out of the barracks and protect the different protected areas under the Constitution of Kenya. And today we've seen the Kenya Defense Forces doing runs across the city in their tanks, and of course heavy artillery in the capital, Nairobi. So that is a sign that indeed that gazette notice has taken effect, despite the fact that the court actually had stayed that particular deployment yesterday after the Law Society of Kenya went to court against it. Now, this is what we've witnessed, despite the president actually bowing and in his own words saying, I have conceded. The protesters in Kenya are not having it, but it is important to note that the numbers have subsided from what was a sea of people, but now we are seeing just less protesters taking to the streets in Nairobi. But what is a constant has been their determination to actually revolt against the government.
You heard Melita Olitenges. He is a journalist with NTV Kenya, Nairobi, bringing us that report from there. Back in Accra, and tensions are mounting among party supporters at the Lejokuku constituency in the Greater Accra region ahead of the national elections. Now, while some residents expressed disappointment in the current state of the constituency and look forward to an improvement in infrastructure development, other residents say that they are satisfied with the projects currently being executed. Listen.
When Okoba came into office, I see what he started
I have been at Total Filling Station for the past 23 years. I was here when the former MP, by then he was the chairman, acquired that land and wanted to put up the filling station. He came around and spoke to us and promised us to get us one gutter. Because when it rains, all the rain comes all the way down from Mana, rushes all the way down there to the Triblo Total Filling Station. So once you acquire that filling station, you should be able to get us that drainage. He couldn't do it. 2 years, I do remember, if you can watch the back of the Total Filling Station, there's another story building there, which is the Ashford Filling Station. The water entered into their apartment. It is a situation that has been there.
It is absolute false. What we have is a situation where the authorities that give license for filling stations to be operated, giving him full license to be operating. That filling station has been operating there for a very long time.
I am looking at Honorable Dr. Bernard Okoboy and Honorable Benjamin Ayukunate. Now, they've all gotten the nod to serve this constituent. And I'm going to look at the achievement of both.
When you get to Adan Junction, there was a bridge over there. It's an ancient bridge, and that bridge has not been fixed to the extent that any car that passes there, either your tire will burst or your car will spoil.
You have some angry residents of Leju Kuku constituency. This is your election command center. We'll be bringing you more from the various constituencies across the country as we draw closer to the 2024 general election. Now, just to let you know that the ambulance trial is currently ongoing at the court. We do understand that Richard Japad, the third accused in that trial, is being cross-examined, and we'll bring you more as and when we have it. That's it for the news here. My name is Bearice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to ShriNews.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. It's time now for Business Daily. Coming up, Ghana records $4.6 billion in remittances in 2023, maintaining its second position in sub-Saharan Africa. We'll bring you details of a World Bank report. Also, General Agricultural Workers Union slams government for policy failures, forcing Ghana to consider food imports from war-torn Ukraine.
That by 2023, Ghana will be a net exporter of rice. Did it happen? What we saw it is not what we say, it's what we do and what will happen.
Plus, experts call for mandatory entrepreneurship programs in tertiary institutions to tackle unemployment.
Entrepreneurship and innovation and research is very key in making sure that we reduce our unemployment rate.
My name is Bismark, Awusah. These stories and others lined up for you. Do stay. Thanks for your company. Now to our very first story, the General Agricultural Workers Union, GAU, is slamming the government for policy failures in agriculture. They say these failures have forced the country to consider importing food from war-torn Ukraine, a situation the union's General Secretary, Edward Kariwa, calls unacceptable. General Secretary of GAU, Edward Kariwa, speaking on Business Focus, argued multiple challenges in the agriculture sector have pushed the country to the point of considering food imports from Ukraine, a nation embroiled in war.
We have not done well with our agriculture, with all our policies, and that even where we tout ourselves as a peaceful country, we cannot even produce enough to feed ourselves. So what is peace? Do we really have peace? If there is peace, what is the dividends of peace? You must be able to produce to feed yourself. Ukraine has shown us that, well, even without peace, in the midst of war, they are still producing. So it's a verdict that our own policies have not worked well for us.
Kariwa points his finger at specific issues such as limited access to credit for farmers, outdated irrigation systems, and inadequate storage facilities that lead to massive post-harvest losses. He also noted some of the policies mounted by government are crippling domestic food production. The GAU General Secretary cited a benchmark policy of 50% rebate that rewards importers of items that are produced locally at the time the country was implementing planting for food and jobs.
We were told that by 2023, Ghana will be a net exporter of rice. Did it happen? What we saw it is not what we say, it's what we do and what will happen. Would government come out with another policy that looks so, rewarding, hopeful, than the planting for food and jobs? And whether we should buy into it because it has been given to us. We have consistently run down our agricultural production. Today, Ghana's agriculture is in tatters.
And that was Edward Kariwa, who is General Secretary of Agricultural Workers Union, GAU. In a bid to address the growing concern of unemployment, experts are urging the government to introduce compulsory entrepreneurship programs in all tertiary institutions. This move is expected to equip students with the necessary skills and mindset to create their own jobs and contribute to the country's economic growth. Director of Programs and Partnership at British Council, Richard Kwesi Shiagbo, made the remarks during an alumni dialogue to commemorate the Council's 80th anniversary.
Entrepreneurship is very key because our educational system should not always churn out graduates to come and be looking for jobs. At least they must be able to inculcate curriculums, that international curriculum that tells the student or that tells the let's say the potential what a graduate that when you are coming out from school, there are pools of unemployed people in the system already. You must make a difference. So entrepreneurship puts you ahead of your colleagues who do not even have any skills in entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is very key. So that's why we are calling for all tertiary institutions to inculcate the habit of entrepreneurship curriculum in their schools. I don't want to mention names of some of the universities, but they are doing it. And when you compare graduates that are being churned out from these institutions and compared to others who don't have this entrepreneurship curriculum inculcated in their way of doing things, you see the clear difference.
Director of Programs and Partnership at British Council, Richard Kwesi Shiagbo there. Now, President of Salt University College, Ambassador Dr. Kojo Alabo has reiterated the numerous opportunities the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement presents in boosting the Ghanaian economy and that of Africa as a whole. According to him, the success or otherwise of AFCFTA strongly depends on the ability to overcome diplomacy challenges, which thrives on the principles of unity and respect. He made the comments at the launch of the first African Diplomacy and Business Dialogue organized in Accra.
As we strive to realize the full potential of the historic trade agreement, it is incumbent upon us all to harmonize our diplomatic endeavors, remove impediments to intra-African trade, and create an enabling cross-border environment for businesses to thrive. AFTA represents a paradigm shift in Africa's approach to trade and economic integration. It offers unprecedented opportunities for growth, innovation, and prosperity, not only for individual countries, but for the continent as a whole. However, its success hinges upon our ability to overcome the challenges that lie ahead, challenges that can only be addressed through collective action, cooperation, and diplomacy.
And that was Ambassador Dr. Kojo Alabo, who is president of Salt University College. Now to our headline story, a new report by the World Bank has revealed that Ghana was the second top recipient of remittances in sub-Saharan Africa in 2023. In 2022, Ghana recorded $4.7 billion in remittances, occupying the second position in that year. The following 3 Business News Desk report has more.
This was captured in the 2023 Migration and Development Report released by Bank on June 26, 2024. According to the report, the largest recipients of remittances in the period under review in US dollar terms were Nigeria, followed by Ghana, Kenya, and Zimbabwe. Nigeria received $19.5 billion, Ghana $4.6 billion, Kenya $4.2 billion, and Zimbabwe $2.1 billion. The report pointed out that remittances have become the most important foreign exchange earner in most countries in sub-Saharan Africa. The World Bank explained the remittance flows to sub-Saharan Africa were nearly 1.5 times the size of foreign direct investment flows in 2023 and relatively more stable. Overall, the report said that the regional growth in remittances in 2023 was largely driven by strong remittance growth in Uganda, which is 15% of $1.4 billion, and Rwanda 9.3% to $0.5 billion, Kenya 2.6% to $4.6 billion, and Tanzania 4% to $0.7 billion. Remittances in Nigeria accounting for around 35% of total remittance inflows in the region decreased by 2.9% to $19.5 billion. The report revealed that Sub-Saharan Africa remained the region with the highest remittance costs.
And that was a report on Ghana recording some $4.7 billion of remittances. Now, before we go, a new report by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, paints a concerning picture of Ghana's workforce despite a decade of economic growth. The 2023 Ghana Human Development Report, GNHDR, reveals a whopping 75% of the workforce employed in the informal sector, with youth unemployment reaching a staggering 65% among 15 to 24-year-old. There is more in the following 3 Business News Desk report. This lack of meaningful opportunities for young Ghanaians threatens the country's long-term development. The UN report, titled The Future Value of Work in Ghana, Pathways to Sustainable Jobs, urges government to bridge the gap between current opportunities and the future of work. The report calls for strategic investments in human capital and infrastructure, building skills and providing access to technology to create a conducive environment for sustainable job creation. The Ghana Human Development Report, GNHDR, recommends a complete overhaul of Ghana's education system with a focus on science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics, and entrepreneurship training. This, the report noted, will prepare the youth for the jobs of tomorrow. The report also emphasizes the need to formalize the informal sector through simplified regulations and targeted training programs. Additionally, investments in essential infrastructure such as energy, transport, water, ICT, and housing are identified as fundamental for future job creation. The GNHDR serves as a roadmap for Ghana's future. That was a 3 Business News Desk report on UN report warning that Ghana's youth face jobless future despite economic growth. And that will be all for Business Daily with me, Bismark, Awusah. For more business stories, please log on to 3news.com. Thanks for your company.